Resveratrol, this tiny little capsule contains the power of over 500 glasses of red wine, and without any of the negative side effects of alcohol. What I love about resveratrol is there are thousands and thousands of studies that have been done on it. It truly has a longevity, anti-aging benefit to it. Today, we're here in Gainesville, Florida, at the University of Florida, and I'm in a laboratory where all sorts of nutrients are tested for efficacy, for milligram dosage, really to show us what's what, how much is in here of the active ingredient that we're looking for. So many of you have been asking me, how do I know what nutrients are right for me? What's the dosage? Where do I get them from? What do I look for on the label? And I think that I am uniquely positioned to share this insight with you. I've spent the last 2 decades of my life traveling all over the world, finding out where things come from, cutting out the middleman so that we can work with smaller indigenous communities or small farms or whatever it may be, so that we can all get the very best ingredients at the best price and at the scientifically proven levels that we need. So I wanted to share with you one of my favorite ingredients. It's called resveratrol. You've been watching the videos that we've been putting out. Resveratrol is truly an anti-aging miracle. I interviewed Dr. Christian this morning, and you can click on the link in the description below to see his interview. It was amazing. We did it at his house. But about a decade ago, he wrote a very good article, a very good paper on how resveratrol switches on our anti-aging genes. So as we get older, these genes turn off. And he showed that just with a small amount of resveratrol, actually 20 milligrams, you could switch on these genes. So I became fascinated. I went to the south of France, which is where, you know, this concept of the French paradox, that the French can eat a diet that's super rich in fats and all these different things, and yet have some of the healthiest cardiovascular systems in the whole wide world. So they have all this fat, they drink red wine. We wonder, what is it because? And so at the University of Bordeaux, I went over there and I spoke with the scientists. I said, tell me everything, teach me everything. And what they told me was that it had a lot to do with where you get the resveratrol from, where this amazing molecule comes from. So they sent me to vineyards in the Bordeaux region where I learned all about how resveratrol comes from the seed, the stem, the vine of the plant. It's a defense system that protects the plant from different pathogens, and it can work in a very similar way within our own bodies. So if you eat peanut butter, if you like red wine, if you eat dark chocolate, these are all places, a lot of the dark berries, these are all places that you can get resveratrol. But once I really started to dig into the science, I learned that we needed more than what we can just get from, let's say, a bottle of red wine. I learned that we needed somewhere around 250 milligrams or 500 milligrams or even 1,000 milligrams to get the levels that we need from the science. So I only want you to remember 3 simple things when you're choosing to incorporate resveratrol into your life. Number 1, you're looking for trans resveratrol. So a lot of products that are out there are just going to say resveratrol. That does not work because there are lots of different types of resveratrol. There's cis resveratrol, there's trans resveratrol, and you want the trans, T-R-A-N-S. That's the active form of resveratrol, number 1. Number 2, wildcrafted or organic. So you can't get a ton of the trans resveratrol from the seeds, the stems, the vines, or the grapes. In fact, you can only get very small amounts of resveratrol. So in order to get the 250 milligrams, the 500 or the 1,000 of the trans resveratrol, you need to get it from other sources. There is a root that grows throughout most of Asia called Japanese knotweed, and this weed grows all over the place. So if you can get a wildcrafted Japanese knotweed, that's a great source for the power of resveratrol. And we know that it has so much power on anti-aging. There have been studies that show that it helps with weight loss. There have been other studies that show that it improves your overall cardiovascular health. There are studies, and you can Google this, as it relates to people that are going through chemotherapy. The NIH has done research actually on the products that I developed over the years, and the science is so incredibly compelling. The third thing I want you to look for when choosing a resveratrol supplement is what sort of the capsule looks like. And here I've just got a couple of different examples. So this is a little soft gel, so you can take it in this form. This is a capsule, and you can see the material on the inside. And here is another capsule, and you can see the material on the inside. They all look very different, and only one of these has trans resveratrol, which you can see on the side of the packaging. Only one of these comes from a wild-crafted source, and only one of these has none of the unnecessary binders or fillers. So take the 2 minutes when you're picking your trans resveratrol to make sure it's at 250, 500 milligrams, or 500 milligrams, depending on what you're looking to achieve. Make sure that it's coming from wild-crafted or an organic source. And the third thing is, in the other ingredients, you want to make sure that there's no unnecessary binders or fillers that really hold back the amazing benefits of trans resveratrol. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about what to do when choosing a powerful anti-aging resveratrol molecule. I love your comments, so keep leaving them. You'll see in the description we have links to so many other articles, other videos, ways to incorporate resveratrol into your diet. I've got tons of recipes. And just overall, I hope you enjoy the beauty of this incredible molecule. To your good health.